All right, what is going on? What's up? How's everybody doing today? Happy Monday. I hope that you guys are doing well. Welcome to the Risen Fallen podcast. I am your host, Mark Hendrickson. And if you're brand new to the show, then what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health and self-development and how to get your life moving in the right direction if you're not feeling good about where you are right now. At least having the confidence knowing that you are getting one step closer to where you'd like to be in the future, who you'd like to be, the life you'd like to lead, and at least knowing that you're getting closer to that every single day or trying your very best to, at least putting in the old college try and honest effort and just trying to live a happier, healthier, more fulfilled life. And I think that if that is something that you're currently already interested in, then this is probably going to be something that like a podcast that you'll probably enjoy. And if that's not the position that you find yourself in, like actively wanting to, improve either the way that you feel or different areas of your life, then, if you're not interested in that, then this probably isn't the show for you. Recommend this to one of your friends, but you probably won't enjoy this. But without further ado, I thought I'd just jump in here. It is Sunday evening as I record this, but obviously Monday morning as you guys listen to this. So hope that you are doing well. In the last couple weeks, I've found myself kind of starting to feel some burnout physically, mentally, and I just had to take this weekend and the last couple days to really rest and recover and, realize like that I was in need of rest and recovery. And so what I wanted to kind of talk about today is just kind of even recognizing when you could be burning out, like when you could be feeling exhausted and what that's like. And so before I start that, it's Monday. And so obviously I don't want to hinder anybody's momentum or motivation or inspiration that they've got going on. But I do think that it's important to become mindful and aware of, when your energy levels, either mentally or physically, could be depleted, and when you need to actually rest and recover and actually take care of yourself. I think that a lot of the time when it comes to, self-development or mental health or anything like that, I think a lot of the times people tend to gravitate more towards content that talks about, rest and recovery and how to make yourself feel primed and ready to rock and roll at a moment's notice. And I just think that far too often, you hear that kind of fluffy, kind of soft, like woo-woo type content. And for a lot of people, including myself, a lot of people, you kind of like when we hear messages like that or messaging like that or that kind of stuff, I think a lot of us kind of think like, oh, that's, not really what I want to hear right now or what I need to hear right now. Or I think a lot of us, we want to just be continuously pushing forward and continuously kind of working and grinding and hustling. And the idea of, slowing down or the idea of rest and recovery, I think a lot of us hear that and we think like, okay, that'd be nice, but I don't think you really understand my position. I'm not really in the position to be able to chill out, rest and recover or anything like that, because I have X, Y, and Z problem in my life that you couldn't possibly wrap your head around or understand because my situation is so unique and so individualized that, you just wouldn't get it. You just wouldn't understand it. And I think that a lot of us feel that way. I think that a lot of us think that our situations in our lives are so unique that, people couldn't possibly fathom how we feel or the lack of time that we face, the lack of energy that we face, the lack of, what position that we're in life. And I think that a lot of us, take for granted the opportunities that we have, and whether or not that is because for honest reasons, like exhaustion or lack of energy, or, it's just like kind of an entitled mindset that we have. But, I guess the reason that I bring that up is because I think it's important to just be able to recognize when you might be burning out and what that might look like for you and what that might feel like for you and what you might need to do when you feel that way. I know for myself, I'm one of those people where I'm like, I either I'm either 0 or 100, and it's very difficult for me to switch in between the two. I'm either go go go, like up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and wanting to, do my cardio, do my reading, do my journaling, do like stay as militant and disciplined to the habits that I know are good for me as possible. Like I'm either fully into that, or I'm starting to have cheat meals. I'm starting to sleep in. I'm starting to, pick up on some of the old bad habits, like behavioral patterns that I used to have. It's always like kind of 0 or 100. I'm either playing video games, laying down on the couch, or I'm running while I'm listening to audiobooks, while I'm planning out the next 5 things that I have to do. And it's like, I think that these types of that 0 to 100, that like light switch, like there's no like dimmer switch, there's no like in the middle, it's always like either on or off. And I think that a lot of the times, when you have that type of energy level, when you have that type of attitude or behavioral pattern, like in life, a lot of people that consider themselves to be like ADHD kids, like that, we have that kind of like impulsive mindset, or kind of like, we just kind of, 0 to 100. Like I think that kind of summarizes like a lot of people that claim or identify as like those ADHD kids. I think I was one of those people because because I was diagnosed with it at a young age, and I believe that was the story I told myself for so long, is that I had ADHD and it was a real thing, and it was I needed medication for it, etc. And I think that a lot of people that deal with that, or have these issues or behavioral patterns, or whatever you consider ADHD to be. Personally, I believe it's kind of just essentially a lack of a skill set. And I think that there's no shame or guilt that needs to be tied to that. I think that it's just something that needs to be, you need to be aware of and say like, hey, these are the skills that I'm lacking. And, understand as well that those are skills that you can develop. And one of the things that people with ADHD have, that a symptom of it, or something that they have to deal with, is this kind of like all in or all out, like this like full blast energy burst, or absolutely crashing and sleeping on the couch. Like it's like this like 0 to 100, like, or it's either 0 or 100. It's like either like it's binary. Like you're either completely fired up and on, like firing on all cylinders and ready to rock and roll, or you're like on the couch with a hoodie pulled over your head, strings fucking pulled tight, with a cup of tea, and I don't know, like what you would like a hermit, like you become a hermit. And I think that a lot of the times that can actually lead to physical exhaustion, that kind of like yo-yoing yourself around, like that, keeping yourself almost guessing, like you like subconsciously almost guessing on like what your days are going to be like. And I think that, I think even with myself, you don't really get to choose how it's going to be. Like there's just going to be weeks where you're extremely fired up and motivated and inspired, and you got a fire lit under your ass, and every single day is just go go go, because you have that constant reminder, or just like a super high energy level. And then a few weeks go by where you're missing certain hours of sleep that you should be, or you're not eating as much as you should be because you have that hyper focus, or maybe you just have one too many stressors in your life, like you've just kind of let little areas of your life slip, or just things come up, life happens, and you start to get that burnout, you start to get that kind of feeling of exhaustion. And I can't speak for anybody else, but I know that for myself, when I'm starting to get that feeling of exhaustion, it manifests in, a few different negative ways. And I say a few different because I can think of like maybe like 2 or 3 off the top of my head. But I'm sure if you would ask my parents, if you would ask people I work with, customers and coworkers, and especially if you would ask my girlfriend, I'm sure that they could give you a long, long, long list of things that happen to me when I get tired or exhausted. things that happen obviously with my mood and with my energy levels, but also just physically, like things that happen with me, with how my body feels. And I just feel like I can tell when I'm starting to hit that burnout stage. And I know for myself, in terms of like physically how I feel, I know that usually it comes with like joint pain and inflammation. I know that when I'm, kind of waking up every single day feeling very sore and feeling like my joints are all rickety, and it's painful to walk or to bend my knees, like just to like squat to tie my shoes or anything like that, then that's usually a pretty good sign that I've really just been beating the hell out of my body. And it's time to do like a little bit of like yoga class or a little like time on the spin bike and a little bit of just like stretching and recovery. And it's time to take it easy for a couple days. And I know that when I'm able to do that, my training that I want to do is going to be like a higher quality of training. I'm going to be able to move better and create better muscle memory, going through different movements. I'm also just going to be able to move safer because I'm not going to be putting, sometimes when you have like injuries or soreness, you almost compensate by moving differently, and you can kind of expose yourself to a lot of different opportunities for injury. But all of these things, like when we hear about like burnout and exhaustion, we think about physical repercussions of that. We think about like the actual physical, being sore, being tired, being, exhausted, and just kind of feeling that physical resistance towards, really doing anything that is going to get you closer to where you want to be in life. But I think a lot of the times, one of the most obvious things is not just the physical repercussions of exhaustion, but actually the emotional, like the energy levels and your mood differentiations that happen with both physical and mental exhaustion. Like even when I'm physically exhausted, it impacts my emotions, it impacts my moods. I think that a lot of the time I can feel it for sure. And I know that the people around me can feel it as well when I'm starting to get physically and emotionally exhausted, because I just have far less patience for things. I have far less patience for people. If they have reactions that I don't like or they're behaving in ways that I don't appreciate, then I'll probably have to let them know. Like I just like won't, I won't be hesitant to let them know. Whereas obviously, I'd like to think that when I'm not exhausted, I have a bit more patience for people, though it is something I've eternally had to work on, and I don't see myself getting over it too soon. I think it's something that I'm going to have to be focusing on for the next near future, but just kind of that irritation with people or lack of patience with people. And I know that a lot of the times when I'm exhausted, I find myself being frustrated and kind of confused a lot more. I know that one of the biggest things is I find myself making more impulsive behaviors. If I'm more exhausted, I'll eat like fucking garbage food. I'll stay up later than I need to, which is counterintuitive because you think that if you were so tired and exhausted, you would need more rest, you would need more sleep. But I just feel like the more exhausted we get, sometimes our lack of judgment just increases. We start to make more impulsive behaviors. We stay up later. We stare at screens. We play video games. We eat junk food. We do stupid shit. When we're more exhausted, we make worse decisions. We're just a worse version of ourselves. And so I know for myself, when I'm getting exhausted and when I'm getting that kind of mental, physical burnout, it makes me a shittier version of myself, both physically and mentally. Like my mood gets worse. I feel like garbage. My joints get fucked up. I feel like I got hit by a car. And I know that when it's time to address that is like when I have a couple days, like a weekend or something like that, where, it's not like my life turns off and there's still chores to do and there's still like things to get done, but I don't have to go to a construction site. I don't, it gives you time to just kind of move a little bit slower, go for a walk, go for a run, just go try and meditate, sit down for a little bit, cross-legged, and just kind of, let your joints, just feel your joints, feel where you have pain and stretch out a bit. Maybe do a yoga class. Like there's a million and one ways to rest and recover. But I think a lot of the times when we are exhausted, what we actually gravitate towards is things that are going to keep us in that state. Like things that are going to, like I said, we start to make more impulsive decisions. and our behaviors become a lot less structured. We're a lot more we succumb to that like internal pressure a little bit easier and a little bit faster, that's telling us to go towards instant gratification and comfort. And so maybe you're feeling like I was last week. I'm feeling a lot better now after this weekend. Like I said, it's Sunday evening as I record this, Monday morning as you listen. But this week was a little bit rough for me. It was a little bit, I had to apologize for some of the conversations that I had, some of the reactions that I had. And, my body was hurting. And so I realized, like, hey, this weekend, take it easy. Go for a little hike, do a little bit of stretching, do a little bit of jogging, a little bit of on the exercise bike, and happy Monday. We're getting back at her. It's time to rock and roll. So hope you guys are doing well. I think that's a beautiful place to wrap this up, and I will check you guys on Thursday. We're gonna have a little interview with Judah. I hope you guys enjoy that as much as I enjoyed having that conversation, and stay tuned for that. So much love, peace out, see you on Thursday, love you all.